Happy Wednesday! How is everybody? It's been a just beautiful day outside. I've been outside and inside. We've been having some electrical work done on our back deck, so I was out there with that. So that's why it's been noisy around my house, and I've not been able to make videos until this evening. So this one will be late going out today. Maybe if it uploads quickly, it'll get there, maybe before you go to bed, but I kind of doubt it, and I'm sorry about that. So today is also April 22nd. Today is Earth Day. Do you know what that means? Earth Day is just a day that we recognize our Earth, and we recognize what our Earth gives us, okay? And we also realize that we need to take care of our Earth, and we need to take care of the things that the Earth provides for us, like our plants and our water and our sunshine, and and that those things also coincide with providing those nutrients and provide food and things for animals, which that in turn helps us. So Earth Day was actually, I was reading about it, and it's actually 50 years old as far as it being an actual holiday to be celebrated. And it just, like I said, it's a day that we recognize that we need to take care of our Earth. And some of the things that I'm talking about mean like not overusing electricity, okay? So like if you're in your house and you're not in some other parts of the house, turn those lights off. Don't leave the water running whenever you're brushing your teeth. They say that turn the water off whenever you're brushing your teeth, so you can get them a little bit wet and then turn the water off, and then whenever you need to rinse, turn the water back on. So just little things like that. Don't go and be using too many paper plates or too many paper goods. Use regular silverware or regular plates and dishes. That's another way. So just small things that we can do every single day that help protect and help take care of our planet Earth. So I don't have an Earth Day book, but I do have a book, and I went through my books, and it's you'll recognize it when I show it to you. It's actually a Little House on the Prairie book, and it's one of the picture books from that series. And so throughout that book, it gave some ideas, or it gave examples, let me say that, not ideas, but it gave examples of the way that Earth helps us. And so it doesn't tell you that. I'm going to kind of talk about that, okay? It's a story about the girls in the summertime in the big woods. But that was one of the ones whenever I was looking through books, and I said, well, this can kind of show us what Earth does provide for us. And back during the time that these girls were living and this family was living, it provided just so many things, and it still does for us. And we just need to make sure that we are not polluting it, we are not mistreating it, and we are taking care of it so that it'll be around and for many, many, many generations to come. One other thing I want to tell you about before we get started. Remember the bulletin board that we had in the hallway that said, where do you read? Well, I want to continue that challenge, and I want you to send in some pictures. I want you to get your family to take your picture of you reading somewhere, okay? This time, though, when you send me the picture, I need two things: where you're reading and what you are reading. So give me the title of the book, okay? Those are the two things for the challenge. But then there's things that you need to make sure that you include so that I know who it belongs to. That would be your name, your grade, your teacher's name. I will, when I get back to the school, I will be able to print these out and put them on that board so that we can share them again. And hopefully I can be able to leave that up like going into next year, at the beginning of next year, okay? Until then, I will share them on social media. But make sure it's okay with your family that you may take a photo and you may send it to me. You may send it to me on my Facebook page or the Media Center page, and it's called HCES Media Center. So either one of those places, you can post a picture to me, and I would love, love, love to see. I've already posted. There's one with Miss Susan Gooden, and she's reading to a pig on a farm, and then Miss Welch was reading yesterday out at her house to a goat. And it tells the names of the books. Then I have one that Miss Collins was reading to Miss Jocelyn Smith, and I don't have that one uploaded and shared yet, but I got that one on an email, and I will be working on that a little bit later tonight. So, a lot to kind of share with you, but I'm ready to get started on our story, okay? And I hope that you enjoy the story. These are checked out, a lot, and always, big request. So it is a 3.2. It's worth half a point, and the quiz number is 41443. And like I told you, this is Summertime in the Big Woods, and it's from the series My First Little House Books. All right, you guys ready? All right, let's go. Once upon a time, a little girl named Laura lived in the big woods of Wisconsin in a little house made of logs. She lived in the little house with her pa, her ma, her big sister Mary, her little sister Carrie, and their good old bulldog, Jack. Now, the pictures are not real bright, okay? They're kind of dull and matte finish. So I'm going to try to hold it close so you can see. All right, so let's talk about, as our reference to Earth Day, let's talk about what did the Earth provide in this particular page. Logs to make their home, right? They're sitting under the tree, and so what is that tree providing? It's providing shade. Whenever you go in the shade, it's a little bit cooler. It was summertime in the big woods, and the whole family was very busy. Pa worked hard all day long in the fields. Okay, what about on this page? So Pa has planted, maybe it looks like some wheat. So the earth is providing food for the family. Laura and Mary helped Ma weed the garden. They helped her feed the calves and the hens. They helped her gather the eggs. Summer was also the time for visitors. When company came to visit, Ma would do some extra cooking and cleaning, and there would be new children for Laura and Mary to play with. Looks like that's maybe some of their cousins or something. Could be some friends, maybe. Okay, what about this page? What is the earth providing them? They're climbing a tree. Okay, so that's providing them entertainment, something fun to do, right? Sometimes Ma let Laura and Mary go visiting by themselves. They would walk across the road and up the hill to visit Mrs. Peterson. Mrs. Peterson's house was always very neat because she had no little girls to muss it up. She always gave Laura and Mary a cookie when they left, and they nibbled the cookies very slowly while they walked home. So this lady doesn't have any children, and so she likes to make things for Laura and Mary. Okay, again, here's food on the table. And where do you think that came from? Looks like maybe that's, I don't know, that's apples or tomatoes maybe, or either potatoes. I can't see exactly anything on them. So that came from the earth, right? Bread. Bread came from the wheat that was planted. That looks like maybe, well, over here looks like a butter churn. Okay. So, and then again, there's the house. And look at the walls. What are they made out of? They're made out of logs. Okay, this is a log cabin, a log home. And they would split them, and in between they have this stuff that they would put together. And I think it was a mixture of kind of like mud and grass at that time. And when it dried, it became hard, and it blocked out. You didn't want cracks, because whenever the logs touched each other side by side, they were not exactly straight. So there would be little areas that had a crack there. So they wanted to fill up those cracks so, insects and critters and that kind of stuff couldn't come in. Laura nibbled away exactly half of her cookie, and Mary nibbled away exactly half of her cookie. They saved the other halves to give to baby Carrie when they got home. When the summer grass was tall and thick in the woods and the cows were giving plenty of milk, that was the time for Ma to make cheese. Okay, so this is kind of like talking about the food chain. So we have grass that the earth is providing. So then who eats the grass? The cows. And then the cows provide what? Milk. And then the mom takes the milk and turns it into cheese. And I'm sure butter, like we were talking about that butter churn earlier. Laura and Mary were always there when Mom made the cheese, helping all they could. They loved to eat bits of the cheese curd. It squeaked in their teeth. Okay, now look, back here, what is that in the background? That's a fence. And that was also made by what? Made by logs, okay? Made by wood that was provided by the trees. And so that fence, why do you think they needed a fence up? It keeps the animals from getting out and getting away. One day, Pa came home at noon with a surprise. He had found a bee tree. The wagon was filled with buckets and pails, all heaping full of dripping golden honeycomb. Okay, what about this page? What is the earth providing? The earth is providing a beehive, a beehive in the bees. So they get the honey and they use it for food. And honey it's very sweet, and it can be used basically almost like the same way that sugar can be used. And so that's another thing that earth provides us, or provided them at that time, and it still provides us now. We still have honey. We still have beehives. For dinner, they all had as much of the delicious honey as they could eat, and Pa told them about the bee tree. So there's the bee tree right there. And Pa's got some buckets. What do you think he's using those buckets for? I bet he's going to get some more, what? More honey. He told them that the whole tree was hollow and filled from top to bottom with honey. Laura felt sorry for the bees, but Pa told her there was lots of honey left for them. So he had gotten all of that honey out that they had right then. But They'll make more. Right, there was still some left, and then they'll make more. After dinner, Ma washed the dishes, and Laura and Mary helped. The dishes made little cheerful sounds as Laura and Mary wiped them. The windows were wide open to the warm summer night. Okay, back then, during this time, they didn't have air conditioners, they didn't have heaters. So during the daytime, if they wanted what would come through the window that would be blowing? It would be a breeze, right? So that's, again, provided from the earth. The wind blows, and as long as it's good weather, they would leave the windows open and get the fresh air in and get the breeze. And if they had like maybe a window here and a window there, then it would go through the house and it would keep that air kind of circulated where they wouldn't be just, in a closed in room and no air moving around. Soon Laura and Mary were tucked in their beds listening to Pa whistling softly to himself. It had been another happy day in the little house in the big woods. And there's their window that they have. And so, especially in the summertime, they probably left it open at nighttime because at nighttime it's a little bit cooler and that lets a little bit of breeze in. And there's the little house in the big woods. And that's the end of Summertime in the Big Woods. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, the author is Laura Ingalls. It is adapted from the Little House books by Laura Ingalls Wilder. Okay? And the illustrated is Renee Greff. So there's a whole, it started out as a chapter book series, the Little House on the Prairie books. And then they actually made some picture books. And I have about 6 of them, I think, in the library. And like I told you, they're very popular. And I have this one in the library. This one's actually not from the library. This is from my shelf my girls had at the time. And it, again, was a 3.2, half a point. And the quiz number was 41443. And I hope you enjoyed our little talk about Earth Day. And I hope that you take some time to, just be responsible and, put up your trash. If you see that there's litter, even if it's not yours, if you don't want to touch it, go get something other and pick it up. Something else like a rake or a shovel or something other. But just help keep the earth clean, keep it beautiful, keep it where we can have it for a very, very long time. Okay? Alrighty, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Alright. Bye-bye.